Welcome to the after show. And we're all hopefully still here. And it is Not So Christian Brothers, two brothers, not so Christian, one Christian. Well, not really Christian, but we're sort of slightly different Christians. I'm Colm Hayes, the not so Christian, and Justin Caffrey is you're sort of the not so Christian as well, but you're Christian in a not so Christian way, if you know what I mean.
I'm a Christian, as in I believe in God
And
and
AI.
Jesus and the Catholic Church.
Do you think the Catholic Church uses AI now? Do you think they're getting into the old system? Because you've built your own AI sort of housemate there that you have at home that hangs out with you, gives you phone calls, see what's going on, tells you, listen, Justin, we need to fucking invest in this shit. This thing is going to explode. And do you think the Christian Church have an AI agent that is designed to be like this AI priest, and people can ring him up and maybe get some moral support from, or they say, listen, I'm thinking about leaving the Catholic Church, and he says, no.
But
I
they
think
can't.
I
Is
think
that
they
not
have though.
blasphemy? Do you think so? It's not blasphemy. Do they not have to speak to? Is God not their AI?
No, the Holy Spirit is their AI.
Is he? She
Yes.
is them.
Is she so
Yeah.
so I think long before people were phoning up their AI bots on Telegram, the availability of the Holy Spirit was there. I remember going to discos as a 12 and 13-year old in Ballymun Tennis Club, and when the slow set would come on, which is an archaic idea for
Hmm.
many young people. But the Careless Whisper would start playing, or whatever that slow song was, and you would find some hopefully obliging young lady, or one who just felt sorry for you, and you'd have that dance, and as you would try and get close to her, one of the responsible adults, which I think were all kind of from the local school or church,
Yeah.
would step in, and they would separate you out enough to say, please make sure there's enough space between the two of you for the Holy Spirit.
In other words, yeah, yeah.
The
That
Holy Spirit
distance.
was basically like an invisible floating contraceptive.
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah. It's just to give enough space where the sperm can't jump.
Same parents, different timelines, and united by chaos. Strap on, strap in, for the not so Christian brothers.
At 12 or 13, there wasn't a huge amount of space needed, right?
Yeah, no.
Your extension mechanism that you were just starting to acquire was still quite limited in its
Your extension
reach.
mechanism. What are you talking about? Your
Well, I'm a
erection.
Christian. I'm not going to
Your
talk about,
extension mechanism. Father, my extension mechanism has got out of control. It's shooting bullets everywhere. So I'm actually thinking as well that if the AI is there at the moment, as our priest not getting onto the AI going, listen, I just wondered, there's a new altar boy. And he's a nice looking fella, and he asked advice on what he should do. No, no,
No,
okay,
that's not where we
no.
can go with this. No, no.
no,
No, that is
no, it
definitely
really
not.
isn't. And
No.
look, I
But what,
yes.
you can ask AI anything. Like,
Well, you can't, but ultimately, look, the Catholic Church have committed some heinous
crimes.
acts in terms of child molestation, but so too have the Buddhists, the Church of England, the education systems around the world. It
Hmm.
goes on and on and on, and
Oh, no, I'm not
the
saying it's
rich and the
exclusive to
powerful,
Catholicism.
Epstein
Yeah.
and everybody. Like it's this whole idea of child abuse is far beyond the purview of purely the Catholic Church. There are some very good priests and nuns who we need to support.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, there's always some good people.
Well, there was your woman, wasn't there, she was great. The one from Sound of
Down
Music.
the music.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
She was a great nun, but she left.
But she didn't
But she,
stop caring.
she didn't think you're absolutely right. And Mother Teresa, look at her. What a fantastic woman. If she'd only moisturized more, she
But
would have been.
the funny thing about Mother Teresa is, right? There's no
That's a
pictures
funny
of
thing
her.
about her.
There is. There's no pictures of her as a young lady. We only ever recognized her as the older lady. I wondered, was she just dropped down by God? She was like, listen, you're going to have to go down, but you have to be an L one straight from the
Yeah.
start.
No. It's very
I,
simple. If you want to see those pictures, you have to search her as Sister Teresa.
I think. Well, I think.
Because
I think
before
there's
she was the
also.
mother, she was the sister. You're
She was the sister.
just in the wrong search engine.
I think
you
there's
see,
also a
that's
bit
it.
of the Brigitte Macron going on with Mother Teresa. To be honest,
Really?
I think Candy Soames might have a jump on Mother Teresa pretty soon. Yeah, Mother
That woman
Teresa.
go after anyone she would, Candy.
Yeah. Her
Candy
name was
owns.
possibly born as Terry, changed to Mother Teresa. Let's start the conspiracy. We should have a conspiracy every Sunday. Just a big conspiracy thing. Look at Candace Owens. She just bought a new house.
Oh,
I
welcome to
think
the
Candace
conspiracy
Owens
temple.
is hilarious to watch. I mean, I think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think she's very impressive, right?
She's incredibly impressive, incredibly articulate, a fantastically good-looking woman, and has been sued by everybody in the entire world, and really doesn't care and just keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who thinks that she's holding on to any kind of moral fabric is deluded. But she's an extraordinary power for making her own money.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse of a woman, I have to say now.
Can we just go back and so because Rebecca's not here, so Terry Tech in his bunker is posing some bits and pieces for us. But I know you wanted to go back. Justin admitted that you wanted to be in space.
Yes, Justin, you said in the end of the last show that you would love to be an astronaut. Is that true? Did you really want to be an astronaut when you were small? And did you make any steps to go in that progress?
Small astronaut.
Yes, I was absolutely fascinated by space at a young age, and I remember very specifically announcing my desire at probably about 5 or 6.
Announcing to who? The family? I can't remember that.
Yeah,
that's because you'd left the house at this point.
You weren't paying attention.
Maybe that's why I left.
You'd left me behind. I was
Jesus, another space. So that's all we need in this family.
Trying to get into space, but somebody told me actually. I think it was a cousin of ours she was actually involved with Patrick Moore. If you remember the
the Sky Night.
What do you call that one thing?
A monocle.
Monocle, yes.
Yeah.
So she was actually on the Sky at Night. I think
one of our cousins.
Yeah, Annette, one of our cousins. Yeah, she was on the Sky at Night, and I saw this, and I was pretty fascinated by it. And she said to me, you can write to NASA. I wrote to NASA a lot. Like I would say, there was potentially a barring order coming, and eventually they started writing back.
Did they? Just stop writing to us, sort of thing.
Stop writing, leave us alone.
This is the FBI. But what would you write? Dear NASA, can I be a spaceman?
Dear NASA, I really want to go to space, and I wonder, could you send me some photographs and anything else that you have for free, please?
Right.
And I wrote many, many times. And then one morning, I remember coming down the stairs and seeing in the hall, you could see our post in the porch, and there was a brown envelope, and I opened the door, and we're talking like 1982 or something, and on it was a load of US stamps and an A4 envelope and a letter from NASA and a load of photographs of the space shuttle, of Earth. And they used to write back, and I communicated with them for probably 2 years, and then unfortunately when the space shuttle blew up,
you backed off.
They blame me. So there was a bit of a dark period of my life.
Yeah,
I had to go underground as a 9-year-old terrorist, but no, they after the space blew up, they sent me a price list, and they said, due to budget constraints, we now have to charge kids.
I charged them for what? For photos
and communications, and I hadn't got any money, so that was the end of my.
Jesus, you gave up very easy there, didn't you?
Yeah, but did they ever send you how would be any steps to progress through into astronaut? Like, or was it like at 9 years of age you were like, nah, that's me done. I'm just not paying for anything else.
They did. They sent me a very important step that I knew I couldn't get through, and that was, sorry, son, you're not American.
Do you have to be American to be an astronaut? I don't think you do now, do you?
Back then you did. Now, now
they just take anybody.
Well, in the current project on the moon, they've got a Canadian,
Yeah, bloody Canadians. What do they know?
And they've even allowed a woman up there. So I think.
Oh, for God's sake!
I think
A
it's open to
Canadian
anybody.
woman.
A Canadian woman, the worst sort.
Yeah.
God.
No, I mean it's worse than that. It's a Canadian and a woman.
Oh my
okay.
God!
Yeah.
Even the dog's annoyed.
Yeah, the dog's had enough. He's out of here. Yeah. I was just looking at something. So they're back now, our teams, and it's really funny that in the present world we're running out of fuel, right? And I'm trying to work out how much.
It's
fuel,
Artemis. Why do you keep saying Artemis?
Sorry, Artemis. How much fuel was required?
No, so we're running out of fuel. America's not running out of fuel.
That's what I mean.
No, but they would have filled up before prices went mad. So they've been probably filling up.
Yeah, and then plus they took Venezuela. They were like, we don't need to worry about anything. We have another country.
But the point is, and there was this guy saying it the other day, why do they even go there? It's not like the moon has changed, like in the last, since we were there the last time. It's not like now there's a new chain or outlet or there's hotels being built. It's exactly the bloody same. So what's the point? And then all they did was fly around it to the other side that nobody saw before. And they went, shit, it's exactly the same. Like, it's the most useless space, whatever they call that, journey in history. They just went to a place they'd all been to before.
Look,
it's like going to Tremor. You know what I mean? It hasn't changed in 30 years.
Do you all believe that they landed on the moon in the first place in the 60s?
Well, obviously, yeah. Oh, you're not one of these.
You still believe that? I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Well, you
are the biggest conspiracy theorist. I know.
People look at you. You're living in a bunker, for God's sake, up the mountain somewhere.
The only reason I'm coming at this from a professional sense of a filmmaker and actor and being able to see a performance and stuff. First of all, how did they get the cameras onto the moon before the spacemen came out of the spaceship, right? That's the first thing, right?
Rigging.
They rigged it. They set it up because they knew that they wanted to do that. And Apollo 7, or whichever it was, actually had a camera on the outside, so you could see it on the way landing.
Okay. Also, in any good set, rigging always get to the set before anyone else. The actors do it. They have everything set up for you. Yeah.
How did they light it? How was there lighting and casting a shadow?
Again, rigging. There's always a guy called Paddy. He knows how to light every set.
It's called the sun. And an uninterrupted atmosphere. As you may have noticed, which you just spoke about, they were on the sun side. They weren't on the other, or as the songs would tell us, the dark side. They were on the bright side.
Bright side light. Okay, so I'm just on one last simple point of. They're on a planet that has no atmosphere, correct?
And technically not a planet. It's a moon.
It's a moon. Not a planet. And they float and they bounce and stuff like that. Why didn't any dust or anything else float up into the air and float away in the shots if they were in a planet that had no atmosphere?
Well. First of all, an atmosphere and gravity are two distinctly separate things. If I go back to my physics,
gravity,
school.
No gravity. I hate that. Yeah.
Damn gravity, right? I know you probably don't believe in that either, Terry.
Gravity and atmosphere.
Gravity is just gravity's conspiracy theory. Yeah.
But the moon spins around the Earth, and like the Earth spins around the sun.
Does it really? I don't know about that now.
Or is it flat?
Because if the moon is spinning, first of all, why are we only ever seeing one side of the moon?
Well, that's because of the elliptical orbits that we follow. So actually, what happens is the moon moves in an elliptical circle around the Earth, so it actually never change sides. It stays static in its position. So at some point of impact, an orbit was established, and once you're in orbit, you don't actually change the way that you orbit. If you lived on the sun, you'd probably be on the sun going, why does the Earth only stay on the same side? Because once you've got an established orbit, you follow that pattern. So the moon is in an established orbit.
Yeah.
Gravity is created by momentum. So the moon has less gravity than the Earth because it's smaller and its momentum is different. But it has enough gravity. Why did none of the astronauts float up in the air and disappear into space?
They big boots.
Apparently they had moon boots on. No, I'm just checking because You
They don't
wanted
have
to be a
magnetic boots.
spaceman. You wanted to be a real spaceman.
I don't know.
Well, I'm answering because
I just find that whole thing
I've
just is
researched
quite
this.
convoluted. I've started going with Terry now. Yeah, I'm just wondering about this because one of the guys on the moon outside of the edit definitely looked like Clint Eastwood and did say, "Go ahead and make my day." Before he said one giant step for man. But why would you? Okay, Terry, just on conspiracy theory now. Why would you bother?
Why would you bother?
Why would you bother creating? I know the THX 1138 isn't that the movie that shows that was all set in a studio.
So
Why
the
would you
US
bother?
and
What
the
was the
US,
purpose?
the USA and the USSR were in a race to space at that present time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the first people to get to the moon was going to be the ones that succeeded most, and they would gain the power and so forth. So America just did what they do best.
But they didn't
They
go to
tell
the
a
moon.
lie through
And
television.
then why did the
yeah,
USSR go up afterwards and check? Go, there's no footprints here, lads.
Well, the
There's nothing at all.
USSR have never been to the moon.
Well, but okay, but so if we think about what we've achieved now, right, to go to fly around the moon, which Artemis is doing at the moment.
No, it's back then.
Do you say then that the Apollo missions that then flew around the moon, they were all fake as well?
I have my disbelief in what NASA actually tells us and what they show us.
Jesus.
So that also means then that the Russians were lying because the Soyuz spacecrafts, they also flew around the moon. Like they were the first to navigate the moon.
And the man's name was Yuri
I just
Gagarin.
wonder how you can land on the moon in 1969 and then have so much technology nowadays where they can build robots, and we've AI and we've enhanced and stuff. Literally, the computer that took the moon, the spaceship to the moon, was tenfold slower than this thing in my hand, a mobile phone. And how come we haven't gone back to the moon?
Because there's nothing there. It's nothing there. It's like
Would you go back to do a better video, wouldn't you? You go back and say,
on your phone, a couple of selfies, click, click. But I think the amount of money it costs to get there, they realised what is the point of spending billions to land on something where there's absolutely nothing. They dug down, there was no little green men running around or hiding behind the craters. There's nothing there. They tried to get to Mars, and that's obviously there's a little bit more life there. But what's the point in constantly going back to something that there's nothing?
Exactly.
There's nothing there. It's like a smelly old bar.
There's no point, and also like the reality is that they wanted to get to the moon, which they did. The physics that they used to get to the moon is the same slingshot physics that they've used for Artemis. Like nothing has changed, right? We still don't have the rocket propulsion systems today to get us to the moon. We have to rely on the gravitational pull of the moon to get that far into space.
It's cheaper as well.
So that hasn't changed, and it's cheaper. But the reality is, of course, we could do that in 1969. I mean, it was only 40 years prior to that we flew planes and got aeronautical travel in place. So it's really plausible and possible for us to do that in 1969. It was an extraordinary feat, but I think human ingenuity is incredible, and there's no reason why we couldn't do it because we developed rocket propulsion systems in World War II with the VE bombs that they used to send from Germany into the UK. So I think it's possible. I think now this whole this current thing is, well, why are they doing it? Because it's a staging post, right? And they want minerals. The moon is going to be mined because it's likely rich in rich minerals that are used for mobile phones and car batteries. It's likely got a water source. So the reason why they're photographing the dark side of the moon is they reckon that there is frozen lakes there, and they will provide access to us to build a base. And we ain't going to Mars unless we have a staging post.
Well, I know, but it's like, would you? I mean, it must have been very disappointing for the lads in 1969. All of that build-up, and then they just land on basically a rock. You know what I mean? And there's nothing there. And they're running around looking for little green men, and maybe something will attack or a monster will appear. And there's just nothing,
You are just a Philistine. I mean,
no, I'm not.
Like Shackleton got to the poles, and I'm sure he
at least there was penguins there.
People to break a party and then to say, well, was he there? Maybe that was staged as well. I mean, maybe the people who drew pictures of him planting a flag were lying.
I would have just, if I was going to the moon in 1969, I would have brought something with me, like a couple of dogs, and I would have dropped them out before I got down and let them run at us, going, "Oh my God, there's dogs on the moon," or something, because it's just boring. When you look back, it's the most boring piece of, cinema history ever, Terry. Like there's the proof that it actually was true, because nobody would make a movie that boring. A couple of blokes jump out of a plane or a thing in big heavy old boots, jump around. Somebody hits a golf ball and it goes off and hits some alien over in Jupiter, and then they get back and they go home again. What a load of rubbish!
I don't know. You still haven't got me convinced.
Yeah, well, there you go. And yeah, so look, I just think good luck to you.
That's good.
I think the Russians will do something better if they get to the moon. I think
we have to be adventurous. The Chinese are going. They're definitely going to go and plant a flag in the next couple of years.
And the flag will say "Timu sold here."
Yeah. Timu drop off point.
Yeah. Next day delivery.
Yeah. So yeah, I think space travel is great. As a kid, I loved it, but then they started charging me after the Columbia disaster. That was very annoying. Obviously, more annoying for the poor unfortunates who died.
Involved.
Yeah.
Well, that's space. That's Justin being a spaceman, which is.
Well, thanks for sharing your story, Justin. It was cool to hear that you actually wanted to do that. I never thought, when I was a kid, I didn't want to be a spaceman. I always wanted to be a footballer. What about you, Colm? What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to be an investigative journalist. When I was about 7 or 8, I thought this is the way forward. I wanted to be that, or a private investigator. I watched too much of the Rockford Files when I was growing up, and I thought this was brilliant. And I actually did once try to find a bloke's bike that was stolen. And we found it up at Ballymun somewhere, and I sort of cracked the case wide open,
Nice.
In fairness, he left.
Did you have a kind of a long Mac and a cigar?
No, that was a different. That was stuff I used to do in a schoolyard. But he was. He actually had just leaned against a railing and locked it and forgot where he put it. But we did crack the case open, and I thought, this is it. There was something else. Somebody else came to me. Oh, loads of disco equipment was stolen, and somebody said to me, "I heard you might be able to find out where it's gone." And I thought, this is the life now. P.I. Hayes,
Are you sure this is just not a memory of like some Enid Blyton famous 5 novel that you're reading at the time?
Yeah, or one of those books you're taking down to the shelter with you.
Hang on, why would Enid Blyton ever written a story about a bloke's bike leaning up against a railing?
That was it was always there's something like that, and then there was a lot of pop involved,
Ginger Pop,
and their dog,
Randy, Rusty. Ballsy. What was his name?
Rusty.
Horny.
Julian, Dick, and George, and Timmy, dog.
Wasn't Horny the dog, though?
No, Timmy.
Okay.
Timmy.
That's it. That's all I wanted. Yeah. So I didn't become. He didn't become a spaceman. I didn't become a private investigator. And Terry, you became what you really wanted, which was a conspiracy theorist.
No, it's not what.
You were growing up going, in the 60s and everything. Probably. Oh no, you wouldn't be the 60s, 70s.
You are into crypto and everything. I mean, you tick all the boxes.
I do enjoy a good conspiracy, I have to say. And the best thing about a good conspiracy is it usually becomes the truth in a couple of years.
Says every conspiracy theorist ever.
Yeah.
Terry, do you have an old tinfoil hat there in the background?
I haven't got it at the moment. My alien is after borrowing it off me, and he's gone off.
I went into an apartment.
6G is coming.
I went into an apartment many years ago, and there's an apartment that I used to own, but I don't have it anymore. And this particular character wasn't paying his rent, so I had to go in and see what was happening. And he had tinfoil on every door handle and tinfoil on every window. And he had a tinfoil over the colander in his kitchen. And he was convinced that it was all, he was being contacted and stuff wasn't, people were trying to interfere with his mind and his brain.
Was there some heroin in the tinfoil as well?
No, there wasn't. He was just a bit bonkers. And that's the reason he wasn't paying his rent. Right. So I just removed all the tinfoil and he ran out.
Yeah, that was
basically that was it.
Yeah, just bring it in and say, I've decided I'm going to install this 5G router here. and he'd
No,
be gone in 2 minutes.
I did actually say to him in your contract that it doesn't say you could put tinfoil over every door handle and window fitting, so it all has to go. So he did as well. Yeah, but he still owes me money, and he was. I'm just wondering, Terry, he's not in your house, is he?
No. I kicked him out last week. He wasn't paying rent either.
Yeah.
But I'd love to do a conspiracy episode with you lads if you wanted. I'd send off a couple of videos onto the old channel, have a watch of them, and give your feedback on what you think of actually these conspiracies, and see if you can find or unplug the I suppose rigmarole that's built around them.
It's called debunk. It's called debunk.
Debunk. That's the word I was looking for.
Debunking. Well, I believe in aliens.
Right.
Well, that's not a conspiracy theory.
I believe in Christmas.
That is a conspiracy theory.
I'm a Christmas believer as well.
Yeah. And these videos, will any of them include Brigitte Macron's genital area?
No, but they might include maybe him beating on his wife.
Or him, her, it, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We need to get out of here now, don't we?
Yeah, go on.
So conspiracy theories about Macron beating his wife. Give us a flavor of one or two other conspiracies that we could be.
Okay, so there's a whole conspiracy about the Tartarian Empire, which is
Jesus.
Are they like Klingons in Star Wars?
It's a whole empire that existed before the existing petroleum-based systems that we use now, and we did have flying, propelling machines that used different energy system that traveled around the world, and that's how we got around.
What was the different energy system? Bullshit, was it?
No. There's some interesting. I'll send you ones that are a little bit where it's practical first before it goes down a deep rabbit hole.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
right.
Yeah, that was the after show. God, I can't wait for Rebecca to be back. Anyway, that was the after show. Not So Christian Brothers. Please like, subscribe. Send us your favorite conspiracy actually on a DM. We can build up a little conspiracy thing, whatever it is that you have, and and enjoy whatever's left of the world.